Hey, good morning, class. Everybody come on in, have a seat. Welcome to today's class. Now, we're going to review a little bit. Last 2 weeks, we went over skill-related components in biomechanics. So for your project, you guys are going to be using tennis skills to effectively apply your knowledge of biomechanics and skill-related components to break down the skill and advise a student who you guys are also going to watch and observe on how they can improve their performance on the skill we will later assign to you. But for today, we're going to go over the basics of tennis. First thing we're going to start off with, forehand ground stroke. Ground stroke. Okay? We're going to understand what the set position is. The set position is making sure that our lead foot goes out in front. Okay? Your racket is going to be back at your hip. If you guys look at the photo, yes, he doesn't have a racket in his hand, but if he did have a racket in his hand, the racket would be back and up, okay, as it says here. Back at the hip, the butt of the cap, okay, meaning the bottom of the racket, is going to be your leading point, okay, and the top edge of the racket is what's going to come first when contact is made. So eventually that racket is going to come around and be square with contact. You don't want the head of the racket to lead. We're going to talk about correct starting position and correct finishing position, okay? And that's our set position, follow-through position that we're going to observe tomorrow when we get into place. Right now, I just want you guys to see the progression of the movement, okay? And then as we go into tomorrow, you guys should have some prior knowledge to build off of, okay? And this slideshow is going to be for your guys' benefit to go back and refer to, so that way you guys are ready for tomorrow. One thing we're going to focus on is keeping the mechanics simple and clean, okay? Your set position sets the tone. Control the racket head through contact. Your contact lines always lines up with your front leg. And we're going to talk about point A, point B, and point C. I have a video on there for you guys to view on your own time as we go through this slide. Now, for your first group discussion, you guys are going to refer back to last week's notes, and I want you guys to identify some skill-related components that you guys can already see in the first skill that we talked about right now, which is the forehand ground stroke. So I want you guys to pick at least 3 as best as you can and just explain what they are. Next skill we're going to talk about is a backhand ground stroke. This is going to be a more non-dominant hand side stroke, obviously backhand. So if you're a righty, this is your left side of the body. Now, there's one thing I did fail to mention. Tennis is working on half of the body plane, okay, which we talked about biomechanics. We have 4 different planes that we work in, but we're going to work on the 2 sides. It's a non-dominant hand again. So make sure when we're going through this motion, this is the tips that you need to follow, okay? Your racket, again, comes back to the hip, okay? Your tip, which is the butt, is still facing directly forward, and the tip of the head is facing back. Okay, again, everything's lined up with your set foot. Excuse me, with your set foot in front of you. We're going to still reiterate these starting and finishing positions because they're going to be key to your guys' success. Okay, we already talked about the butt of the cap. It's got to be pointing forward. You have to control the racket head all the way through contact. At any point you lose control of the racket head, it's going to be a hard day. So make sure when we're working on these skills, you guys take your time in learning the skills. Do not rush through it. Make sure you're finishing over your dominant shoulder. As you guys can see there in the example, he's following through and it's going right over his shoulder. Now, one thing I want you guys to notice too is the way he shifts his weight. The weight's on the back foot, starts going midway as he's following through, and completely follows through on his front leg. Okay, that's one thing that you're going to have to take note of because it's going to be later on in your project. You're going to have to explain that. So, for your next group discussion, what are some key differences other than not using your dominant hand that you were able to identify between the forehand and backhand ground strokes? Again, guys, these group discussions are on your Google Classroom, and you can refer back to them anytime. This is for you. These are your notes, okay? As well as the graphic organizer that I will give to you in class. You guys will use that to help fill out and build an understanding of your own critical thinking of how you're going to apply this stuff. If you were, say later on if you wanted to coach, or if you guys are going to play tennis in the spring, hey, not too early to get caught up. Okay, next thing we're going to talk about is footwork. Footwork on the ground strokes. Okay, early feet position is going to set the tone to everything. Okay, you have to set the tone with your feet. You cannot lead with your racket. Okay, understand that. Good athletic loading. You guys should know what a good athletic stance is. Okay, you may not be able to perform it, and we'll go through that tomorrow in class, and we'll practice it as much as we often can. Make sure you guys are doing little steps leading up to the ball. Try not to take these huge, big steps. Okay, we want to work to the ball, and we don't want to overjudge it. Okay, we want to still be on time. We don't want to be too early. We don't want to be too late. Making sure that you guys have controlled movement is going to be key as well. Meaning that you have one point of contact with the ground at all times. Quick feet, we'll work on it. It's going to get there. If you are quick enough, don't abuse it. You will overrun the ball every time. Make sure you see the ball early. We'll work on some hand-eye coordination drills to get you guys going. It's a coaching term, it's really coaching slang. When we say on your toes, we really mean being on the balls or your feet ready to go. And please, guys, don't be lazy. You got to move your butt. Okay? And what I mean by your butt, you just got to move. If you're not going to move and you're not going to be fully participating, you're going to have a hard time understanding how the skill-related components come into play and understanding the biomechanics behind these movements. You have to fully participate if you're going to understand these. Okay, group discussion. You guys, again, are going to come up with 3 to 4 points of why having good footwork is vital to having success in performing the backhand ground stroke. Okay, the backhand ground stroke. Again, you're going to have examples in your graphic organizer. There's some videos here on the presentation for you guys to look up and review, and they're going to help you build that understanding of why having good footwork is vital for the backhand ground stroke. Okay, again, question is on your Google Classroom. Volleying, okay, we're going to do 2 types of volleying, forehand and backhand. Again, guys, don't be a hero. Please try not to mess around with these drills. It's going to be fast. It's going to be quick. You guys are going to get tired, and you guys are going to be moving a lot. So make sure we're working on set positions, okay, getting your feet at a 45-degree angle as you go. Again, make sure you guys are taking extra simple steps on the volley. Try not to be big or go big, in other words. Create a small window for each other. Make sure your elbows are tucked in, okay, and we definitely don't want any power volleys, but to create some power in it, you gotta have some stiffness on your forearms, okay. The backhand volley. It's going to be the same thing as a forehand, but we'll get to it later. I want to make sure you guys get the forehand volley down first. Again, set position is going to be very, very vital. Okay, it sets the tone for these drills. Contact is made when the arms are bent. We're not fully extending through the hip quite yet. Okay, so understand that when we're working on the volleys, it's not full extension. Of course, your opposite leg steps across and generates all the power. So making sure we get our legs across. Again, the feet work's got to be key here. It's going to set the tone for these drills. I cannot stress it enough. The last thing we're going to cover is serving, okay? Continental grip, Eastern grip, it really just depends on the type of grip that you guys feel comfortable with, okay? Back scratchers, I know how many of you guys have ever played with a back scratcher that your grandpa or your dad just has laying around somewhere, okay? If you can find one, play with it a little bit and watch your elbow in the mirror and see how it comes back. And then you guys can play with the racket head and see your arm angle when you're playing with it. Okay, this is what's going to create the momentum for your serve. As I just stated, your elbow is facing backwards. Now, your toss arm, this is what a lot of people mess up on. Your toss arm, it's got to be straight. Okay, you cannot have it bent at any time. The time you have it bent, it's going to hit you in the face, the ball's going to go over your head, or it's just going to be not a very good day on serving. So make sure your arm is straight. Okay, it's lined up with your front toe. Okay. and you're just going to toss it straight up. If you guys got time today, just grab a tennis ball and just play toss up with yourself and make sure it's landing right over your foot, okay? The ball has to be in your fingertips. Try it today as well. Try tossing the ball up in your palm. It's going to be a mess. Even though your arm's straight, your fingers are going to make the ball veer off one way or another. Your toss also needs to be half of the racket length, okay? So if you hold the racket straight up in your arm over your head, you need to toss the ball at least halfway. If you toss it over, there leaves some room for margin. However, be very careful not tossing it up way too high, because now you're going to lose all momentum in your swing. Because if you watch the gentleman here in the picture, step by step, you can see his momentum build as he bends his knees, he's on his toes, and you can see the full extension going through the racket as he comes down to finish. Okay, it's very important that we keep that fluid movement, especially when we talked about it in biomechanics. Okay, fluid movement creates motion, and the momentum and the power, everything behind it, it's there. If at any point you have to pause it, it's not going to work. Making sure your contact is at the highest peak. Okay, highest peak. It has to be at the highest peak. At any point it's lower than the highest peak or above the highest peak, the ball is going to go off, and it's not going to be pretty. You're either going to hit the net or it's going to be out of bounds, one way or another. Okay, we're going to focus on that, and we're going to take our time with it. We're not going to rush it. Okay. Also, guys, please stay encouraging to one another. Also, finish across the body. Put it back in your holster. Okay. Every movement we do, we're going to try to finish across the body, and we're going to make sure we put it back in our pocket one way or another. Okay. So, also tonight with your group discussions, okay, you have a recall application question. You guys are going to play the role of a coach. Your student is someone who is struggling to get around the ball and continues to fail making contact with the ball and racket. So what you guys are going to do first is you're going to discuss or identify what skill-related component the student is struggling with mainly, and what kind of drills can you use to improve his performance. How would you have the student progress to ensure they are gaining confidence, meaning how would you break down the drills for that specific skill you're going to choose. Okay. Also, make sure you answer each point. You have to answer each point, okay, and provide details of your strategy to improve students' performance. This is going to get you to a depth of knowledge level 3, okay? I can't stress that enough. Make sure you guys are providing your details. Go into your rationale. Discuss your strategy and how you are going to help your student improve, okay? So, here are the videos for all the skills we just went over today. Here's some key ideas. There's some drills in there you guys may want to try as well. And that is the video, guys. So make sure, again, answer all the questions. All the work is on your Google Classroom. The graphic organizer will be given to you guys tomorrow. I wasn't able to make the copies today, but it's all right. I'll get them out to you. The graphic organizer has a bunch of stuff that can give you guys simple tools, some websites to look up if we're going to want to get us early ahead on planning out your project a little bit, getting some ideas as we go. Okay. The application one, you only have one chance to submit this, so take your time with it. Make sure you guys are going through the group discussions and answering these questions before you get to the final question. Okay. These questions are designed to help build up to it. Take your time with them. They're not due till the end of the week because this is going to be a long week learning the skills. Okay. Other than that, have a great night. This video is going to be posted to you guys. The PowerPoint's going to be posted to you guys. If you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to ask me during the week. And I can't wait to start playing tennis with you guys. We'll have some fun with this. Okay. Once again, be encouraging. Be positive, take the initiative, help everybody when somebody is down. Okay, be the factor. I'll see you guys tomorrow.